Technician 775 here. This morning we're going to be covering a fire source for your cooking needs, and it looks like we have some really bad weather moving in. You can probably hear the wind chimes in the background. So I'm going to try to be quick with this but thorough. Okay, we bought a StoveTech stove, and this is wow, it is pretty windy outside. Okay. This is one of the best stoves I've seen and had any dealings with that you can actually cook with using wood. It is a really nice little stove. The cost in it, this is the deluxe stove with the 2 doors. It's about $125, and it's well worth it. I've seen the construction on this is just really good for the amount of money that you have to pay for it. Okay, one of the things that we did, and I do, is go down to the local cabinet shops, people who do woodwork and cabinetry, you know, and the such, and ask them for their ends and pieces of the wood. Normally they'll just give them to you, and if you give them a few dollars, if you have some long pieces and you don't have the ability, not necessarily technical ability, but the physical tools that they can do the job with, they will cut the wood into small pieces for you and maybe charge you a few dollars for that time, which is well worth it. And those pieces of wood you can actually store in a 5-gallon bucket. We'll go into the operation of the stove later on, but this is one great option right here for cooking. Maybe not necessarily in an apartment, but you can see this is the 2-door version. Okay, and you can actually go to, I think it's stovetech.net, and see more about their stoves. Okay, next I'm going to take and put this my camera on the tripod here. So what we can have is I can have both hands free to demonstrate this stove right here. This is a typical stove you get. It's Chinese built. Everything's built in China just about anymore. But anyways, if you go to any one of the Oriental stores in the larger city, and some of the smaller cities have a good Oriental store. A lot of times it can be an Oriental food store. They will have these. This stove right here was about $15. Excellent stove for the price. You can't beat it. They also, you can go into the camping section of Walmart's, Kmart's, Target, and such as that, Academies and whatever, and look at different stoves and such right here. But this one right here was one of my favorites. It does put out quite a bit of BTUs. The little cartridges are safe. They're disposable, and they store really well. Okay, what we're going to do, when you get the stove, it's going to be packaged with this upside down and inside the plastic box right there. So when you get it, just a quick video on how this thing works, and like I said, we'll do some demonstrations on some of the cooking later on. But okay, then you open this up. Okay, take you a can, take the little red cap off, and you'll see that there's a little notch right here. You pick this up. There's a little tab right here. You pick this up, put the can right down there where the notch lines up. Okay, so that lets you know that this is perfectly lined up. You push this lever down, which engages the can into the regulator. This right here has a built-in, I think they call it a piezo lighter. So what you do, okay, maybe twice. Okay, and we have fire. And it is quite, I think it's about a 10,000 BTU. It will boil water in little or no times. And okay, make sure you do all the cautions. Close this right here. And you can actually turn this down to just a fine simmer, which is excellent for cooking beans and your dry legumes, anything that's dry. Okay, enough of that. When you finish with it, please make sure you disengage the bottle. That way you don't have any leakage, because if it's emergency times, you're going to want to conserve as much as possible. When you're finished with it, take the bottle out. You know, and I don't want to get too much into this, but like this, and you can store it quite easily. Okay, it will not store if this little lever is down. It's a safety device. It will not store. You cannot put it in the box. So once you do it like this, oh, I've done something wrong. But anyways, once you do it the way it's supposed to, there you go. Okay, that's hit in the wrong spot. It works just fine. Replacement cartridges, you get 28 to the case, and they're about $1 a piece. You can also find these cartridges right here at a True Value hardware store. Okay, I'm going to take the video camera again and start moving around with it. Okay, for lighting, one of the things that you're going to want to do is have a good source of light. Batteries work just fine, but they're limited. You can go down to, again, your local store, Kmart's, Walmart's, Academies. Look in the campus section and get you a nice little Coleman lantern. These are not real dangerous, but you know, like with anything, you have to take and be careful with it. And you can pick up the extra bottles of propane. Some people like the propane bottles because you can do that with the stove, and which is perfectly fine. I just like the portability of the smaller stoves like that. And with these right here, you can get an adapter from Harbor Freight and refill these canisters with the big 5-gallon propane cylinders like you use for your gas grill. And they have the instructions and the directions how to do that. Okay, that was just a quick video on beginning prepping and how to use some of the cooking equipment and some of the equipment that's available. Technician 775 saying thank you very much for watching, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me a private email, a private message, or just post it on the video, and I'll try my best to get back to you as quick as possible. Thank you very much again for watching. 775 signing off.